hello to everybody. All right, so it has been a long time since I have put one up. I've had several of these in the can, and unfortunately, as I go to try to put them together, it's just not making sense. There were some breaks, and I had some issues. So let's start here. Welcome to This Old Man. Oh, thanks, Donkey. Anyway, so you may wonder where I am. For those that started with me, I am near where I began, in a little hole in the ground from episode 1. As you can see from there, and it looks like I may have sheared that mountain down, the answer is yes. Yes, I have. So the idea started with me making a tree farm because I wanted to be able to make sure that I could keep getting charcoal if I needed it. So, welcome to my way station bedroom here. Here's a little cut through to get back to my place. Anyway, so I started with the want for like a tree farm. And the only thing I really had were these oak trees. So, I started carving out this whole area. And I think you may have seen this a little bit from the beginning things, but anyway, started carving out this whole section. If you remember from when I was deforestation right there.
And remember, kiddies, deforestation, bad for the real environment, good for the Minecraft. So, back to our regularly scheduled program. Thank you for listening to this public service announcement.
Right? And eventually carved it all the way out. Came all the way to here, put an oak fence around it, and made it my oak tree forest so that I could sustainably continue, sustainable energy, it's important. I could sustainably continue to get, wood that I would need and, be able to turn it into charcoal. As you can see, this looks like it may have been cleared out. Well, the answer is it was. So the idea came to me to do this, and then after that, and I went way up there, trying to figure out what to do with the wall and how I was going to do this, and so that developed. That's a little walkway right there, and I'll take you up there in a few minutes. Anyway, so oak tree born. Not the oak tree itself, but the oak tree farm. So then I'm like, well, I should probably do some more. And this was taking a lot of time because I was using primarily stone tools, which as you can see from my inventory, I still do. But that's mostly because I end up mining a lot of stone. So, ta-da! I made the birch tree farm. So I have a birch tree farm. Moving on along. This was just some extra space, so I planted these down here. And later on, I eventually, through some wandering, found... Oh, boy. There we go, right? I found some spruce. So I made a spruce tree farm. This used to actually go out into a big section. This whole thing was water. Everywhere where you're seeing the spruce farm was actually water, which you can kind of see. Oh, I'm going to die. Ooh, I didn't die. Okay. I thought I was going to die there. Anyway, so all this water here, and you can see that I kind of covered it all in up top there. Boink. So see, there's all that water out there. And this was one big lake with all kinds of waterfalls and craziness and stuff like that that I have covered over very slowly. It's taken a lot of time. Let's just up here to get to where I could do that. And we can see some sunlight over there, so let's head in that direction. Oh, I don't have many torches. The intro to this one may be very short. Okay. Shoo. Oh, hey. Holy guacamole. Look at that. You start a new video, and the Minecraft... the lords of Minecraft provide, right? Wow, I'm getting some iron, getting some coal. That's great. I'm afraid if I bust into this, though, here, I'm going to get Something more than I bargained for. No, okay, not bad. Okay, great. So if I bust into that, it's not too bad. Okay. All right, continuing on. Let's just follow the stream upwards, shall we? Yeah. By the way, if you don't know, you can swim up through water and all those things like that. So, anyway, so I had kind of made these little platforms in different places so that I had a place to be able to walk and do some things. It's big waterfalls. Anyway, you'll see look, hey, there's that big wall. So I covered all of that, which a lot of that was just water to begin with. And I covered a lot of it so that I could make several tree farms. So let's go swimming up there, shall we? Bonsai! Hello, jellyfish. All right, well, you can guess I found some cherry tree blossoms in my wandering, and so they're sticking out from all over the place there. And yes, that's what the next one, after the spruce, it's cherry tree. So we're going to swim around here. You can see how much I had to cover. So there's a lot of empty space there. There's a lot of water space there. So we're going to just kind of mosey on in this direction. Get ourselves back up into some form of civility here. There we go. Anyway, hi guys. All right, so that was the cherry tree section, as you can see right there. Interesting thing with the cherry trees, they will grow through walls. And then in my other travels, I found acacia trees, and so I went ahead and walled off this whole section, which again, all of this was either over top of water or part of the mountain, which you saw earlier, that I had to carve out and cover all of that up. Each one of these, so this is obviously my acacia tree farm. So I have the right fence. The fence goes across the top too, and then the doorways. Okay, so this one, I do know that there is jungle wood out there, and so I have gone ahead and made this section for jungle wood. I'm not finished with it quite yet. That is why I have this stone here and so on. So I kind of kept this area here, and it's this way on purpose so that I can get up top here. Bonsai! There we go. And I wanted to match the rest of the area. So let's do a quick montage until I run out of bricks here to get this going. Alright, so that is much with the kind of cooked stone that I can do. The center of these is cobblestone, some regular stone, and then obviously this cobbled deep slate. Just stuff that I have laying around from some of the adventuring, and so I've been able to use that to fill the center core here. For these bigger ones this way, these are 3 wide, as you can see. So let's head back over. We'll have to fight our way out a little bit. Bonsai! Oh, somebody behind me wasn't happy. Why are the mini-me's like the most difficult here? Don't know. Anyway. Let's get ourselves back into some safety. Whooshoo! Okay. Alright. Let's heal up a little bit here. Okay, so, and while I was building this, I found some a donkey kind of spurred up, and I had golden apple, so I found that. I had a carrot, so I found this bunny guy, and they've just hung out ever since. And feeding the another donkey came up, and so through that now I have a few donkeys here. There's no real reason for that, but all right, let's take a little nap. Sleeping time, sleeping time. Oh yeah, it's sleeping time. Okay, awesome. We're still cooking up some new stones here, right? We're doing that. So let's head on over and take a walk through everything else that we've discovered at this point while those cook. Which, by the way,
Hello, and let me just fill you in on something. So, the information you are about to hear is proven both true and false inside of the same video, so take from it what you wish. Thank you very much.
pointer. If you walk too far away from what you're doing and don't sleep through the night, I'm not sure which yet, so if somebody could please answer that for me, that'd be great. The stuff that's cooking in there, in fact, let's actually do a quick experiment while we're here. Let's take a look. So this particular one here is at 40. It's going to be at 44. Got it. Let's take off. And then we're going to see where it is when we come back. I have found in some cases that it does almost a whole lot of nothing while you're gone. Anyway, so I've covered a lot of this in stone. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. I have encased in glass. I have moved everybody but the chickens into another place. The chickens are in there, encased in glass now, so that they can't, nothing can harm the chickens. This was the area across the top, obviously, with the, when I was carving all of this out. So I ended up having to go way up there and actually carve all the way down. It was quite tedious. I found a few of these little caverns, which you see that one there. You can see a lot of the torches going way up there, where I carved things out. This was, yep, see, that one over there, that wall that I'm pointing at, over that way. That's only a 2 deep wall, kind of messed up there, but this is a 3 deep wall. And then this is a 3 deep wall right here. This is another little cavern area that I found while I was doing all of that, right? And then it just goes all the way, which we swam by all of that. Anyway, so heading on through. Obviously the fences change, and we can even come up here to keep building on that fence over there, as opposed to jumping from the wood area or the dirt mountain that's there. But that's more fun. Woohoo! Oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. That hurt. Okay. Why have I not cut this tree down? No idea. It just kind of lives there right now. So this is the beginning of the stairway to heaven. I built it, and I'm not even sure why. Just because I wanted to kind of build a stairway to get up to the top of the mountain. So I started digging, as I do, and dug and dug and dug and dug and dug, and then started putting the stone, obviously, into stairs, and came up to here. Ye olde top of the mountain. This here is actually a little bit of an elevator that I started working with. I kept dying because it's too long. My nephew tried to help me, and he was trying to explain to me that soul sand makes you go one way and magma makes you go another way, and there's a whole thing with that, but I still die. So that is definitely something to work on. Anyway, so I had to walk up there and start cutting and digging away with the farm, or with the tree farm over there. You will notice, we can actually take a look from way up top here. As we get over to the side. Oh wow, there's a house there, and there's a bunch of cleared area, and maybe some more trees down that way, and yep, you guessed it, that is exactly where we are going now. So I decided to take a little walkabout at one point. Walkabout, for those of you who do not know, is a Aboriginal custom. Would just meaning to kind of go wander. You can also look that way, and there's extra stuff there. So we'll head that way first, over that way, and then we'll head where I took walkabout. Anyway, so I've expanded the farm. We now have melons and pumpkins. Hello, melon. Um, and ooh, a block of dirt missing right here. Not sure how that happened, but let's put that back. So I've got some pumpkins, I've got some wheat, and I've got some beetroots. And so, in fact, actually, while we're here, we should probably do the right thing. Pick up some beetroot and spread the beetroot seeds back out, right? Yeah. That makes the most sense. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we made it a little further than they were before. So anyway, yeah, farm conservation, continuing to let that grow. All right, so with all of that in mind, no idea why I did all that with there. It just felt like it needed to be done. So there's Anti-Bad Guy Island, which is now also encased in glass. But as I said, let's take a look off in this direction first. Inside of the house, I dug this tunnel to go all the way to that this, by the way, is a glass look into the area where I was taking those original adventures off in there. But I just kind of kept digging and digging and digging, and then this is where I eventually came out with the, oops, I passed the door, the elevator, which is there, which needs to be worked on, obviously. And then much later on, I needed more storage for things, so I started digging these areas out. Much of this was also water, and covering all of that, so I have my sort of cobblestoned areas where I keep a lot of my findings. And then I'm not sure where that's going to go yet. Just kind of going. We remember here the man room, right? TV, sofa, which is now properly green. Lovely, lovely. This goes out here looking onto what is now the chicken farm. All of the Boobala chickens. We've acquired a few more dogs, as you can see from the update. We not only have these guys, Blondies, but these guys too. Some of them have names, because I've found some name tags. So we have a Rooney, and a Yosh, and a Bussy, and then obviously a Boobala, and you guessed it, a Boobala. This is the hallway that leads to the Not So Beach Club, but I have made an enchanting room in here. For those that don't know, if you enchant something and you don't like it, but you want to kind of keep trying something different, that's what this little block is for. It destroys the enchantment. This stuff here just is a bunch of lapis for the enchanting. Here's the hot tub. And here is the Not So Beach Club, which I'm hoping to make a jukebox like the one I have back there and put it in there to play some bump-in tunes. Okay. All right, guys. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, guys. Here, let me give you some of this. There you go there. There you go there. There you go there. There you go there. Sure. I will give you some of my precious beef because I love you guys. All right, great. So I also, in order to be able to build said library over that way, which turned into the enchanting area, I needed sugar cane to make sugar and also to make paper. So I made this sugar area here. This was where I actually had my first fight with the bonsai fight, where I was throwing eggs at bad guys. So I've expanded off of that pier. I've come over this way. And so that's just more sugar cane back that way. I built a little bridge coming over here. This is the Llama Drama farm, right? Llama Drama farm. They have a dirt pyramid for Llama Drama. Yes, I hear you. I hear your drama. I found some of this wood in the nether because I do have another portal, but we'll get there. Anyway, and as I just kind of started doing, I was going for walkabouts just to see what was where, and I headed off in this direction. I had a bunch of extra cobblestone, as you can see, so I made myself a big cobblestone bridge. I made a little cobblestone way station fortress here with the warped block doors, so I have a place to kind of spend the night if I need while I'm walking about. Little bridge to get me over there if I need it, and a little path to go this way, more for fishing than anything else. And then it heads off in this direction. And I found really nothing new over here yet. I haven't gone very far, but I did use this to deforesterize quite a bit. And I started to cut into this area and made myself a little spot in here that I will probably turn into yet another kind of place to hang out at some point. And that's as far as I've made it really over here. So let's get back into the realm of safety. And since we're going to be behind fences for a while, we're not even going to worry with sleeping time right now. So we're just kind of running through here as it gets a little darker. Thank you for coming along on my tour. At one point in my kind of other practice world that I started a lot of this stuff, and I see you, Mr. Creeper. My son made a map, and I don't know how to do that. So again, in comments, if somebody could help me make a map, that would be fabulous. I've got paper, I have wood, so I'm sure that that's really all it takes, and then we have to do something else. But it would be kind of cool to see a map of this place. And the thing that when he did make the first map is, like, it didn't encompass all of it. So I'd love to be able to figure out how to, like, take maybe 3 or 4 maps and put them all together, because this is a pretty wide space going all the way out that way. The Llama Farm. The sugarcane fields. And then we're going to head off where I also went walkabout. Hi, guys. So after I built Anti-Bad Guy Island, thank you, McKenzel's, for being one of my subscribers during the time of this. I really haven't done much with it other than put glass here, because again, it's kind of a little way station. So I started going off this way. Big wall. I made some shears, which allows me to cut the branches off the trees, or the things off the trees, and then do that. Obviously, somebody stole something from there, and allowed me to go walk about this way. But this also arrived because I started digging. Remember that area where I said, where I showed the glass and I said this is where I used to go adventure? Well, one day I just decided to start digging, and digging down, and going and digging and digging and going and going and digging and digging and going. Whew, that's a lot to say. And I ended up way down here. So then I thought I need to find a way up. So I started digging up. And after I started digging up, I also had some wondering. Could I grow plants under the ground? And the answer is, why, yes. Yes, you can. So this is, as I'm to understand it, an infinity pool, which allows you to, like, scoop from one and then you let it refill itself. I'm also growing some underground trees. Why? Because I can. Ooh. That guy looks like he needs to get over. Let's do it. So you and all your cronies will take all the experience we can get from these guys. Alright, so again, for those kind of new at this, this becomes a thing. Those slime balls, which come down from way up there, boy, they can make a mess. And they just keep sort of dividing. So I had a couple areas where I ended up kind of coming through and you know, have thoughts of expansion um, down here in this sort of underground world. There's all the water. So this was my way station for down here. And again, it happened because way up there, I built a lot of stairs just to make it easier for me, but way, way, way up there is where I came in to the first time to all of this down here, my first cavern, which you guys have seen in my earlier videos. This is just me starting to dig down and expand. And again, I started doing that, and I decided I needed to go walk about. So I did. So anyway, I dug up and up and up and up. And whew, it's a long way up. So I built the tree farms and the farm, going all the way back in that direction. Again, also, there was a lot of water off in that way. So that was a lot harder than it seemed, like, like it needed to be. This is an area which I am currently kind of digging through and digging in, and I believe it will eventually take me out on the side of the mountain. In fact, I'm certain it will at some point. Back out to the walkabout. Oh boy, it's raining. That's okay. So from the nether, I also brought this wood back, built myself a little home there. We'll get to those in a minute. This is my way up to the wheat farm that's up there, which feeds a lot of these guys in here. So these guys are now all sort of separated. And I thought I killed all the chickens there. Ooh. Sorry to those who don't like that. But anyway, sheep, cows, and little piggies. So they all have their own kind of area. I always feel bad. I know that they're Minecraft animals, but I feel bad when they don't have space. So now everybody's got some space to do their own thing. And anyway, so I built this house while I was doing all of this here. And I wondered if I could build sort of a multi-like house. So I built it, and I just decided to keep going up and up and up. And then here I am at the top. I have balconies. Say hello to all of the Boobala dogs here. Boobala, and oh, let's not forget Boobala over here. And if you look out my back window, oh my gosh, it's another portal. I found some obsidian and was able to get enough together where I could build that. I have not done a ton there. I really haven't built much in it. Kind of a half a house thing there, but nothing super exciting. This was just a very, very, very large pier that I started to build, and then it just kept growing and growing. Because I was getting a lot of baddies kind of coming out that way. So it started as just this section over here and a little bit of this section, and as happens, it grows. So then I went for a big walkabout in this direction. And I ended up coming across a pale forest. And so eventually, and this dark oak over here. So eventually I made some tree farms for the pale oak and the dark oak, which, as you can see, required me to dig out quite a bit of mountain on this side. I have dug all of that out and made those there. And then this is the white walkway. All of the pale oak that I was coming across, that was a dig from that direction somewhere, and I eventually came out through here. So anyway, you see that skeleton there? We don't have a shield right now, so we should probably hightail it past him. Anyway, so I started building this after I went walkabout, and I'm going to show you. Before, this was all built backwards. This was built to get me back to the homestead over this way. So I kind of went walking about, and I actually walked off in that direction over there, and went around this mountainous thing here. And then on my way back, once I found this pale forest, and I was able to kind of keep regrowing it in that place. I built a house there, which you will see. I started building backwards, and I'm like, oh, I'll just go through the kind of tunnely area. That was an early bridge I made, but that was all the way over there. It was like the area that I kind of came through. So you'll see the drip of water there. The drip of water is actually because there is... you can't really see it very well. Nope, that's not that one. Maybe I wasn't sure with this one. You can see there's a waterfall coming down, so I had to build these kind of archways over it to keep the water from coming down into my world. I have, as you can see from torches, I have looked around way down there, found a bunch of diamonds. But anyway, I digress. Continuing on. So the white walkway takes me continuing. That's where I get down into the cavern. So yeah, I just kind of started walking and kept walking and walking and walking. And as you can see from the counter up in the top, it's a long way. These gates were built in there because as I was building this walkway and having to keep going back getting more wood and doing that, I needed to keep the baddies from meeting me in here. So here's a quick way station for myself. And notice, as I said about the stuff before, look, things are still burning. I probably haven't been here in days, and these things are still smelting. So if you, creators of Minecraft, come across this video, A, that would be really cool. But B, could we figure out why this is happening? Why this won't just cook on its own? It's an interesting thing. Anyway, so that's one way station. And again, as I kept going, there was really nothing interesting here, so I just kept going. I'm like, I want to keep going until I find something new. These are all birch trees, you know, just kind of a lot of nada nada yada yada. That was me wandering out into that section. Continuing on. Whoop. We may have to, when the rain stops, my sword has a fire aspect, so it can cook the food as I do it. Anyway, another way station, early way station. And if you look off in that direction over there, you'll see what looks like some stairs, and they are. So quick way station this way. Alright. In fact, actually, while we're here, start cooking some of that food. Maybe it'll be ready for us when we get back down. Maybe. Maybe. So this was where the dark oaks kind of came into play. Through here, as you can see, I've learned they have to be planted in fours. If you don't plant it in a four, it doesn't grow. That's the same with the pale oak. Other things are not necessarily that way. But again, I want you to remember, this was built backwards. I didn't start from way over there, like where the house is. I started way up there after I found this pale oak, which as you can see from up there, see the gray? Yeah, that's the pale oak forest. So I saw that from wandering about down that way and was like, oh, that looks really neat. So that's something new. So I started making my way up this mountain and hacking away at some of the pale forest things, as you can see there, and eventually made my way kind of up top enough and cut enough away that I built this guy. So this is the Pale Palace. Anyway, Pale Palace, here it is. Not much to it, some stuff here, which eventually I will start picking all these things up and taking them way back down. But this is, the bed here is on the second level. It's not very well done as far as like, you know, oh, I need some glass. Boy. Anyway, I've got this balcony which runs literally all the way around it. clearly I need to get some glass and put it in there to finish that up. Anyway, so that's the Pale Palace. And now from here, as I was doing my walkabout, I started seeing all these trees, and I was able to really cut these down and then just keep growing them, which is how I found they had to grow in fours. And as you can see, just this kind of set of trees you can see right here, it's just cutting them down repeatedly and then regrowing them and cutting them down repeatedly and regrowing them built me this and pretty much everything you see here. Anyway, so from up here, I decided once again it's walkabout time. So I started cutting through here, made myself a little path of torches so that I can follow it later. And moved along in my walkabout. By the way, I learned this. If you attack a dog or a wolf, and there will be 5 others that you didn't see behind you that will come, and yeah, it can be bad. Anyway, so following my little trail of torches, I started coming this way because I'm like, I wonder what's here. And holy cow, I started to see cherry trees. And notice, these are things that I haven't kicked up in forever, but because I've been gone, they're just hanging out. Super strange, right? Some of these cherry trees that haven't grown because I guess when you're too far away from some of the stuff on the map, it forgets that this stuff is here to continue its, whatever it needs to do. But I kept walking after I cut down some cherry trees. I have myself a little respite from like the rain and etc. down in here. And kept going. And it was evening when I was coming down this way, and I'm like, I feel like I see lights that way. So either aliens have infiltrated the Minecraft, or it could be a village. There we go. That's why I like this sword, because it cooks my food when I kill it. Again, sorry for those that are not big on that, but it's got to be done. And I was right. So I kind of kept coming, and I said, oh my gosh, yeah, there's a village. I could see the top of the trees. So through here, fighting off baddies after baddies after baddies. Continuing on, obviously following the torches, which we're not doing right now, but we should. Pa-ching! Bazinga! Following torches. I have not explored here yet, but that's on my list. But I started seeing these trees. Now I see this too, and there's got to be a way to get that guy off of there and bring the bees with me, because I'd really love the bees, but I don't know how to do that. So again, comments, very helpful. So I started seeing these acacia trees, and obviously the village that's up there. So I harvest some acacia trees here, and that's how I got my acacia forest. And so I'm going to continue in this direction at some point. I do like the updates, because now there's like steer from there, which I don't want to steal. Yes. Well, I kind of do, but I'm not gonna. And I want to head off in that direction, so that we can, see what's over there. I feel like that might be some jungle action over in that direction. Anyway. So that's the adventure as it is so far, with the exception of that one cave section, which I will take you to now. Hey, look. Unsaddled llamas. And again, please, in the comments, if we know how to get the beehive from here with the bees, like I don't know if I have to like smoke the bees into the beehive, and then from there like carry the beehive wherever I am, and that's just like real people, like logic, smoking the bees so that they're not angry at you. Seems like it makes a lot of sense. Pardon me a second, but we're going to do this because, and the Pale Palace, we are missing some glass. Anyway, so let's head on back. Again, if anybody knows the answer to why the stuff doesn't grow when you're not around, that would be kind of cool to know. It would also be kind of cool if there was a Minecraft update that would actually handle the things that you've done that are further away. Or at least if I know what my distance is, like, hey, you can't be any further than blah, blah, blah distance from something. Um, yeah, I saw you, Enderman. You're probably the one that stole my blocks of grass and things and stuff like that. Maybe not you personally, but anyway. I have no shield, so I'm not in a fighting mood right this moment. But I will certainly put my sword up if I need to. We're going to try discretion being the better part of valor, and we're going to run! So there's like a, potential horror movie thing here, right? I'm running through the woods. One never knows. I've also heard some rumorish type thing, and I don't remember where I heard it from, but that there's some kind of baddie that actually comes up in these pale woods that I should meet at some point, but I don't know how to do that either. So again, in the comments would be great. For that to figure out, am I missing out on something? Is there a baddie here that I'm missing out on? And that I should be looking for out in my pale woods. So, all right. Not much to grab there. I am going to grab this, not because I'm like dying for cobblestone, but it's going to help with the building of that wall. Anyway, that's 3. We're going to hit this 4th pane of glass. We're going to put it up top, and then we are going to head back and probably end the video there. And I will continue to work on my wall a little bit. I hope it was 4 panes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 panes of glass. All right. So this is only our 2nd night, which means the flying baddies will not be out for me currently. So I think we'll be able to make it back in time before that becomes a thing. And this is what's nice. So as you're building stuff, and you put kind of fencing around with the lights and stuff like that, it's not 100% foolproof, but I will say that it makes me feel at ease to wander along in the evenings for a nice, really long stroll out into my world here. And make me feel like, I'm fairly safe from the baddies that are out in the world. Let's see if our chicken is done cooking. All right, it did finish the chicken cooking, so that's good. All right, continuing on. Okay, so moving down here. All right, let's see if we can make it back here before daybreak and go check on that. We're going to go check on, we were at 44. That's where the stones were at that particular point. All right, so we're going to do a quick through here, and I will see you when we get back to the stones. All right, quick break in the running montage. Sorry, I did say I would show you this. So I kind of built this to make it safer for me to head down here. And this was a natural cavern. I have found a ton of diamonds down in here, and I do just kind of wander through at this point. But yeah, that's the bridge that I built. The big chasm down in there that I can actually... I decided to do this. And I ran and ran. Well, I didn't really run at that time. I kind of was fighting my way because this was all dark. Like, even in the daytime, this was mostly dark. But I cut away at this just so I could give myself a place to fight the baddies. And then, as per usual with me, I just dug and dug and dug and dug and dug and dug until I got to here. And then I dug over this way, and then as I started clearing all of that stuff out, holy cow, this whole big giant area came into view. That's the hole up top. And then there's just so much to do down here with so many things. Anyway, we're not going to deal with all that right this moment. So anyway, let's head back up. Yeah, I should probably put some stairs here because it will make life so much easier. Anyway, all right, let's go back to the fast forward. All right, moment of truth. Da-da-da. Oh my gosh. It made a fibber out of me. It finished. But as you saw from the other way station, like where it was still cooking stuff, and I haven't been there in quite a long time. Anyway, all right. Well, thanks for joining me on this part of this adventure. I am going to throw some stuff over here. There's not much space I can make, but I am going to the other stuff for kind of center core, and we'll take that. All right, and we'll take that guy there. All right, and that guy there. All right, so it's daytime, so I can't stay out overnight on this one because we've already been up all night twice, and although I do want some of that like ectoplasm-y stuff that those things grab, I don't have a shield right now, so I'm just going to kind of work this until you know, till I get a good break, and we're going to go from there. So thanks for joining. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys on the next one. Okay, bye.